Their last resort is to rely on the idea that this violence is legitimate. The violence may exist, and it may be deplorable, but it is ultimately publicly sanctioned. The way this violence gains its legitimacy in the 21st century is by claiming that all this awful stuff is just what the people want. At the end of the day, in liberal democracies, the government acts as nothing more than a mouthpiece for the will of the public. So if something bad happens, it's just because the people wanted it to, or they just didn't vote hard enough. This is how Obama recently explained it in an interview for a show that he produced. In this clip, Obama was just asked why the massive desire for change and an end to much of the state's violence in 2008 never materialized. Obama responds by saying,
"Except it turns out Mitch McConnell was elected too." Right? Precisely because the country is a big, diverse, complicated place. Look, here's the thing that
I find it hard to believe.
Here is that
Sorry.
I find it hard to believe that guy asked him, when are we going to end all this state violence? And Obama's like, well, you got to understand, Mitch McConnell, he likes state violence.
Yeah, really? So are you telling me you think that No Thought here is possibly being dishonest?
I think No Thought is a lying piece of shit, to be honest with you. I have no faith in his in his ability to discern the world in a credible way and articulate it to us without lying his ass off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're right, because I went and I found this. It's on Netflix.
Okay, good.
And
so this person's like a major anarchist. Is that what I'm getting out of this?
I don't know what they are. I don't know what they are. I thought they were a communist, but maybe they are an anarchist.
Like the endless talking about state violence.
Yes.
We don't need that. Like,
yes.
They literally always leave out of the equation that there are violent people that organize to do things. Like that's what Neo and Realist stream today was about, was specifically the cartel is literally just going to war with itself in Mexico, and the government literally can't do anything but tell people to shelter.
Is that what's
in place.
happening?
Yeah.
I thought they were fighting over I thought the police had arrested some people, and that's what they were angry about.
That was a while ago, but that is an example of what happens. The cartel literally just said, you will give us our mob boss back. And when they wouldn't, they just started attacking the Mexican government.
Jeez.
And the Mexican government lost.
I mean, this is how the Civil War in Sierra Leone shaked out. This is how it always shakes out. It's always the government against the rebel forces, which is basically the government against the anarchists. So
why don't we start, I hate to agree with Scott Adams, but why don't we start drone striking the cartel? Why did the Mexican government ask us to do this?
Well, that unfortunately is what you would have to do. They're incredibly militarized, though. That's why, in my own video about how silly the abolish the police thing is, I posted clips of them with their armored vehicles and stuff. You think that's your over militarized police? No, actually, that's the cartel.
Isn't the only source of foreign currency coming into the country from the cartel?
It might be. I don't know. I look at it because if you get on the secret Antifa forums, they say stuff like they think that they're going to be able to fight the cartel, and I'm just you guys are on crack, they felt they were pretty tough when they went to the Wii Spa and beat up soccer moms, but in that same city in MacArthur Park, MS-13 literally just straight up murders trans people, and there's no kids in hoodies doing anything about MS-13.
Right.
I think that's because they know what'll happen.
But so this clip this is the Adam ruins everything guy.
That's what I thought that was.
Yes.
Damn it, Adam! Stop ruining everything.
I know, Adam.
What's
your problem?
So was he? So that guy's kind of. I mean, he might have asked about state violence. I don't know.
So he asked, I'm trying to remember, he asked something about violence in a previous question.
Oh, no.
But the question that he just asked Obama, that Obama's responding to with that answer that this guy dishonestly cut, was not about violence at all. It was about why didn't he do enough about climate change?
No way. It's not.
And he says, well, because, they voted for Mitch McConnell, and Mitch McConnell has different opinions on climate change, blah, blah, blah. And I want to read you Obama's quote right after that cuts off. Tell me if you think this is a horrible authoritarian thing. Obama says, look, here's the thing. I'm not going to do an Obama impression. He says, look, here's the thing. We have to remind ourselves by design, change is hard in this country. I guarantee you that there is no president who was ever elected who doesn't think at some point, make me king for a day and I can just issue my edicts. But we don't want a situation where an all-powerful, all-knowing individual or small sets of individuals are able to make decisions for everybody. So we're going to disperse the power, which means things happen slower, which means people have to compromise.
Yeah.
What an authoritarian dictator. I can't believe Obama said that.
He said all-knowing? Because, I mean, if you're all-knowing, then, I mean, you kind of can.
Well, there you go. Adam's in favor of the all-knowing dictator.
Well, I mean, that's the problem. Right. Like, being a dictator without the all-knowing part is the root of the problem.
Well, I mean, even if you're all-knowing, you could have a complete different moral axioms in which you believe, though, society should be running.
True. You could.
So this is so I just think it's, to me, first of all, so not only does he lie about what Obama's responding to, but then to cast that in a negative light, to me, is just totally batshit. Like, he's simultaneously complaining about how the government has a horrible monopoly on violence and we should abolish them. And he's immediately criticizing Obama for saying one person or a group of people shouldn't have all the power.
Right. Yeah.
Like, there's no winning scenario here for anyone, essentially.
He's just crafting a narrative.
Yeah.
Because people are just different in this big country, putting an end to this violence is too difficult. We need to compromise. Except Obama's time in office was full of moments where he led the charge on increasing the state's violence without facing any—
This is so dishonest. This is so dishonest. And then he's going to hit him with Obama was a big fat drone striker.
Any resistance. For a long time, Obama was called the deporter-in-chief because of how aggressively he pursued the deportation of, at the conservative end, 2.5 million people. His legacy is also—
So, I don't know, do you know the information behind this V radio? The deportation?
The part about the deportation, I've heard that claim before.
Right.
But I would have been more apt to point out, because I said this to the progressives when they were all happy about Biden. I was like, if you guys as protesters think you're going to get treated better under him, you're like, Obama literally just told them to just kick Occupy out of all those parks. It wasn't pretty. Like, I was like, the protesters were not treated with kid gloves at all. And he just openly said, I have no sympathy for them. Like, he was worse on protesters than Trump could ever be. Mm-hmm. And they just don't have any memory of it. That's the only thing that comes to mind when they talk about state violence. I mean, they're right about this much, at least. Right. So that he's the reason Occupy Wall Street ended. As far as like deporting, no, I don't. But I think it, like, we only started paying attention to it when we had this fictional, supposedly racist boogeyman thing going on, that the only reason why we deport anybody now is supposedly racism against Mexicans or something. But even Bernie Sanders used to be, anti-illegals.
So I found some report that required too much brain knowledge, too much brain power to me to read and decipher at like 2:00 in the morning when I'm trying to like understand this report. But basically the report was saying that this whole Obama deported more people than anyone else is kind of 100% fake news.
Really?
And it's basically because there's multiple terms for how deportations happen.
If he didn't let him in, they counted as a deportation.
I don't know if I have it open anymore, because I was like, I didn't really fully understand the argument, so I didn't want to go deep into it. But basically, they were saying that there's deportations and expulsions and formal deportations and removals. There's all these different terms for all these different types of ways in which basically illegals are removed from the country. Mm-hmm. And like, it was like, so while it's true,
undocumented workers.
I'm sorry, undocumented. But so while it's technically true that Obama had way more of this one type of deportation or something, if you add up all the total removals, George Bush had double the amount of removals that Obama did.
Really?
Right. So they're saying this whole narrative about Obama being the mass deporter is not even true.
Why are they doing that? Why are they trying to sell that narrative then?
I don't know. Because leftist gonna lefty? I don't know what to tell you.
I guess my question would be it's one of those things where how much does the president actually have to do with any of that anyway? Right. Like, we always do the, the Trump administration did this, the Biden administration did that, even if it's stuff that it's not like Biden, signs all of the deportations with his own pen or something, right? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they probably have some influence, but.
Well, yeah, I'm sure there's some, like, it depends. If they pass some executive policy that has some influence, I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, it's like, when this guy's saying that the government can just solve homelessness and poverty. It's like Obama just has a button on his desk that says, like, deport illegal. And every time he presses it, it just summons an ICE agent to deport an illegal somewhere in America.
Right. Yeah, I don't get it. They always find a way to try to blame everything on whoever it is they want it to be the fault of.